Hey there, if you've been thinking about downsizing your home, maybe your home is getting too big, maybe you just want to change things up. Whatever it is, you're in the right place. So stick around while I go over the pros and cons of downsizing. Thanks so much for sticking around, friends. My name's Nicole Smith. I'm a local realtor here in Metro Jacksonville, Florida, and I specialize in helping seniors. Anybody who's 55 and over, it's one of my specialties. I have been certified in this department and I have a passion to serve. So today's video, I want to go over the pros and the cons of downsizing. Yes, there are pros and there are cons, and I just want to educate you and help you be aware of what could actually happen in this situation. Because I believe if you are living somewhere and you're not loving where you're living, it is never too late to change your living circumstances. So let's get right into it. So the first part I want to talk about is when you decide to make a decision that it may be necessary to downsize, you might discover that one of the pros is that you're going to have some lower monthly costs. In fact, if you have enough equity in your home and you buy a home that is less expensive, you actually may not have a mortgage, and that is so beneficial. So if you're not in the situation where you actually know what your home equity value is at this moment, that is something I could definitely help you with. Even if you don't live in the city or area I live in, I can still help you with that. So keep that in mind. The number 2 pro is you're going to have less maintenance. If your home is smaller, there's going to be less rooms to clean. If there's less rooms to clean, that makes it easier on you. In fact, you may choose to live in a community where some of the maintenance is taken care of, and that will also save you time, money, and energy. So that maintenance will be something that you're not burdened with, and that can be a really great pro. The third thing is actually decluttering your life. So if you're in a larger home and you're deciding to downsize, more than likely the furniture you have is not going to fit into your new home. So it might behoove you to donate it, maybe your grandkids, or not so much your kids, but maybe your grandkids could use it, because times are a lot tougher these days for our grandchildren, and they might want some of your furniture. And when it comes to actual things in your home, you've probably accumulated way more things than you actually need. So it is a great time to declutter things and get rid of things and donate to good causes, and that will actually be quite freeing for you. The number 4 thing is you have a lifestyle freedom. Why? Because you get to choose where you're living. If you want to travel, you're going to have more freedom to travel. If you want to be close to your grandchildren, that is your chosen lifestyle. So with that, there's so much freedom in it. And yes, that could be a big change for you. But if you're consciously making the effort that you're considering this, you got to think of all the pros, and a lifestyle change is definitely a pro. And one of the things you may consider is a 55 and over community. Now, I have done several videos of 55 and over communities, so make sure you take a look and subscribe to my channel, and you can see where I've gone and even videotaped the 55 and over communities, and even the other kind where you have to live there because you're completely getting away from maintenance. 55 and over communities they are actually quite special. You can go into an established one that has been around for years, or you can go into one of the newer ones. In this area, we have quite a few 55 and over communities, and it's a great way to actually connect to your community and be involved, because they have lifestyle directors and they organize a lot of things on the calendar, so you can go and enjoy your community and meet all your friends and make new friends. So it is beautiful, and it may be something you might consider. And I would be very glad to show it to you, because I really enjoy touring those communities and helping people in those communities. So the number 5 thing I want to share with you, it's easier to age in place. So what do I mean by that? Well, you may be living in a 2-story home now. You may be living in a situation where it's not as easy for you to get around. But if you make a conscious decision to move into an area that has wider doorways or smoother flooring or no stairs, or maybe you're going to get some grab bars installed, these are all things to make aging in place much easier for you. And in a new house, a new start, a fresh start, it could be a really, really a great chapter for your next chapter. So consider that a pro. Now let's go into the cons. And yes, of course, there's always going to be cons in life. So the first con I really want to talk about is your emotional attachment. So if you've been in your home for any type of length of time, there could be a lot of memories stored up in there, and it could be a neighborhood that you really love. Your neighbors are someone you really love. Your favorite grocery store is right there. These are all emotional attachments that you may have, and that could be very hard on you when you're making the decision to move, to downsize. So you really have to prepare yourself emotionally for that, because it is not always going to be easy. But maybe you can't stand your neighbors, so it'll be a really great thing. But we can't pick our neighbors, but we can pick our friends. So you can choose who you hang out with in your neighborhood if you don't like your particular neighbor. But let's hope we can still be friendly. The number 2 con is you're going to have less space. You may have less closets. The square footage more than likely is going to be smaller. The whole concept of the layout may be completely different. You might be used to sectioned off rooms, and now it's all open concept. So you have to figure out where you're going to put all your storage. And in Florida in particular, we don't have basements. So if you're moving here from the Northeast and you're used to a basement, I have never seen a basement in Florida. There may be some somewhere, but it's very rare. We also don't have as many closets, in the sense of there's not even many homes nowadays that even have coat closets. So you have to consider that, where would you put some of your boots and shoes and rain coats? The next con that we have is the stress of moving. So statistics say that moving is up in the stress levels with divorce and death. So if you've been through any of those things, you know how emotionally traumatic and stressful those situations are. But having a good realtor like myself guiding you and helping you through the process and trying to make it a smooth and joyful transaction, it is imperative, and it's something I'm so passionate about. I love bringing joy and peace into a very stressful journey, and I am very good at what I do, and I could definitely bring you joy and peace in this journey. And know that you're not in it by yourself. You're not doing this alone. That I am here every step of the way, the beginning, the middle, the end, and the after. Absolutely, you'll always have me to turn to for any question, any need. I will always be there for you. It's something I'm very passionate about, so I really want to be able to help you with the stress of it all. The fourth con is there are some hidden costs. Yes, you're going to have to pay for a mover. Yes, you're going to have to pay for closing costs and perhaps someone who has to help you unpack and repack or even donate. There's going to be some costs there. And obviously, if you choose to move into a community that has an HOA and you are currently not living in a community with an HOA, that could also be an added expense. So knowing what your budget is, knowing what you feel comfortable with, and working out the numbers ahead of time, that is something I highly recommend. Knowing what you can afford so you're not stressed about the money. And then even if you're considering this not in the immediate future, but in the near future, you can start planning to start saving a little money for those extra expenses so it's not so overwhelming for you when it comes down to actually moving and paying out some of that extra costs and fees. The number 5 thing is finding the perfect house. Well, I want you to know there is no such thing as a perfect house. So depending on the location you want to live, if you're trying to live close to your grandchildren, for example, or perhaps you love the beach and you want to live close to the beach, or perhaps there's a special hospital or a doctor that you want to live close to. Well, there may not be the perfect home in the exact location you want, so the inventories, they may be, a little difficult at sometimes. It depends on what's going on in the market. Now, currently our market is pretty balanced and we're heading towards the buyer's market. So our inventory is up currently here in the Metro Jacksonville area. But obviously it's fluid. Things are always changing and we won't know until we're ready to actually start shopping for that home, what the inventory situation is like. So it's never too soon to start reaching out to me. And I'm gonna leave a link below to my calendar. And I have a relocation guide and quite a few other guides that it could really help you. And if that's something you want, you can just message me and I'll send you over that information because it's very, very useful. And being that I'm an interior designer, I can really actually help you with your floor planning. So if that's something you need help with and you're like, Nicole, I have this sofa, I'm not sure if it'll fit. Can you help me with my furniture? I am absolutely going to be able to draw you up a floor plan and show you where to put your furniture, which furniture to bring with you if you're moving from across the state, whether it's California, Michigan, Ohio, New York, or even Connecticut, wherever you may be moving from. I can absolutely help you with floor planning. You just have to give me some dimensions and I can definitely help you with that. And that's something I give to my customers. I don't charge any extra for that. It's just one of those added values that I give in my service to my customers. So I can help you because I have referral partners all over this country. In fact, even in different parts of the world, our brokerage is so big, we have colleagues everywhere. So you just make sure you message me and I'd be happy to give you that referral. My name's Nicole Smith and I've been living here in Jacksonville for over 10 years and I just love living here. And I always say that life is too short not to love where you're living. And I'm living the dream here in Jacksonville, Florida, and I would love to assist you and help you to be my neighbor. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really is helpful. And thanks so much for watching, friends. You have a great day.